All right. So here we go. Um, make sure that's muted over there. Right. And now it's muted. Okay, awesome. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to December 20. Is it the 22nd? I don't even have my phone. I think it's 22nd. Yesterday should have been the 21st for the winter solstice. So yeah, let's get started. So before we start, I want to name something important. Name something. What do you mean? Well, the challenge is um, most people don't have a discipline problem. They have a signal interference problem. And so, what I want to chat with you about is this idea of signal, and understanding your signal. It's not really a discipline problem. The challenge that we have, the challenge that all of us have, is in order to keep ourselves focused, in order to keep ourselves uh, attached to our goals, we really have to think about something. We got to change the way we look at things. Most people in this room, you already know what to do. If you're watching this recording and you found my page, you already know what to do, right? You didn't happen across my page. You found it because somebody guided you to it. Somebody thought enough of you to say, "Hey, listen, here's a guy who's just a little off center, who helps us get back on track." So knowing what to do, that's not the problem. Think about it. Knowing what to do is not the problem. I spoke to 1,000 people Saturday morning. 1,000 people for 35, 40 minutes. I was the keynote. Spoke to it was 1,000 people who wanted more. Not one of them didn't know what to do. When they were asked, where do you want to get to? They said their ranks, they said their things, they said all of the things they wanted, they said their statistics, they said the strategy, they said the title of what they wanted. Very few said, "I want peace." Right? Signal is where we need to attract and put our focus. The problem isn't even that smart, disciplined people drift out of alignment. That's not a problem. The problem is when smart, disciplined people drift out of alignment. What happens? When that happens, effort goes up while results go down. Smart people drifting out of alignment isn't a problem. The problem is when smart people drift out of alignment and their effort goes up and results go down. Drop a UR, up, results. Drop an UR if your efforts went up and your results have gone down in the past. What I'm going to show with you today, what I'm going to share with you today, isn't a new strategy, a new habit, or a new mindset trick. Right? They talked a lot about mindset. Carol Dweck talks about it in her book. I forget the title of the book. Carol Dweck is the author of it. She talks about mind flex. So I'm not going to talk about a new trick, not going to talk about a new mindset, a new habit. What I am going to share is it's the missing layer that most systems never address. Right? Most systems never address this. Most training programs never address this. Most seminars don't address this. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If you don't know how to get yourself back in alignment in real time, every plan you make eventually collapses. And that's what sucks. That's what we know going in. I'm going to go to one more training seminar. I'm going to go to one more goal setting seminar. I'm going to go to one more achievement. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to sign up for that. I'm going to sign up for this. And then it quits. And it's just a pattern. It's just a pattern. It's simply a pattern you're creating. If you don't know how to get yourself back on time, back in alignment, back on track in real time, in this moment, every plan you're about to make eventually collapses. Most people wait until they're burned out, till they're stuck or discouraged to fix this. The people who will learn how to correct early before the spiral, those are the ones who make it. Most people wait, most people pause, most people put off doing the hard work, the internal work, until they're burned out. They wait till they're burned out, they're frustrated, they're aggravated, they're up against the wall, they have no other choice. The people who win learn how to correct early, before the spiral. Once you see this, once you grasp this, once you allow it to flow into your soul, you can't unsee it. And you'll start noticing immediately who's operating in alignment and who's forcing it. Chances are the person you're about to go speak to join your business is wanting to force alignment. See, the cost of not understanding this isn't failure. It's wasted years of effort that never compound. Right? Einstein said the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. Where's compound effort? Where's the return from your compound effort, from doing this and then building and doing this and building and doing this, as opposed to building, destroyed, building, destroyed, building, failed, building, failed? It's authority without ego. This isn't theory. It's a practical operating principle based upon how attention, self-talk, and regulation actually work under pressure. If you've ever had days where you worked hard, yet moved nothing important forward, this will explain why. Here's the promise. In the next few minutes, in the next little bit of our conversation, you'll learn a way to recognize when you're drifting and exactly how to get yourself back into alignment without motivation, without hype, and without self-criticism, aka shame. And once you have that skill, everything else you're doing already starts working better. Right? If you can get yourself back in alignment, the goals you have, they shouldn't be lost. They shouldn't be tossed away. They shouldn't be delayed in your life. So let's start with the real enemy. It's not procrastination. It's not entropy. It's not laziness. It's something most people never name. It's entropy. Entropy is we work on something till we destroy it. That's what entropy really is. Working on something until it absolutely falters, before it absolutely destroys itself. So entropy is what we're going to do our best to put a new place in, put a new signal in. So your signal, your frequency, your natural frequency at which your body and your brain and behavior work together with the least resistance. This is what your signal is. You're defining your operating signal. Your signal is the natural frequency which your brain and your body and your behavior work together with the least amount of resistance. Think of those times. When did you accomplish things with the least amount of resistance? This is important. Most people never spend the time to do this. They, oh, just tell me how to do it. How equals human. My how doesn't work for you. Your how isn't working for you. And looking for somebody else's how is an excuse. If you tell me how and it doesn't work, then I can blame it. Well, I tried Sean's way. What is your signal? What is this frequency that you are looking for? See, when you're in signal, action feels clear, Decisions feel simple, effort compounds. Now, you may have not worked from this place in a very long time where your efforts compound. When you're out of signal, maybe you feel this. Maybe you'll understand whether you're in signal or out of signal. If you're out of signal, everything feels heavy. You overthink everything. Habits break. Shame increases. So when you're in signal, actions feel cleaner, decisions feel simpler, effort compounds. When you're out of signal, everything is heavier, you overthink, habits break, shame increases. Getting back into signal is not about trying harder. It's about removing interferences. Imagine you're dialing the radio. And as you're dialing and you're moving the knob, you're hitting the up, down buttons, and the numbers are increasing up the scale or down the scale. And you hear a signal. You're like, that's it. And you go back. And what you're attempting to do, how many of us, some of you are old enough, this is going to be fun. How many of you remember the TV antennas, the rabbit ears on the TV? Who remembers the rabbit ears on the TV? Type in ears or TV, right? So sometimes when you held on to the TV antenna, the signal got clearer. This is exactly what we're doing. And for those of you that don't know it, go Google it. Go Google a YouTube video on adjusting the rabbit ears on a TV. So I say this to say, this isn't about what you're about to go do, isn't about working harder. It's about removing the interference, undeveloping, uninterfering your signal. So entropy rule. Systems tied to matter decay, systems tied to energy self-organize. Let me explain. Entropy is systems you use to destroy things. Listen, I didn't say this was going to be a fun thing. This is going to be a hard-hitting thing. Entropy is when systems are in place to destroy things. Do you know what destroys your things? Distraction. Scrolling, not following up, not doing the things for 21 days, 40 days, 100 days in a row. I did it 4 days, it didn't work. I did it 2 days, it didn't work. Entropy just entered. Systems tied to energy self-organize. Well, here's what happens. Energy self-organizing is you getting back into your state. You can get excited at an event. You can get excited right now. Soon as you leave this event, soon as you leave this energy, soon as you leave this circle of frequency, you're back in your old energy. You have to figure out a way to stay, to keep it up, to find those things. I call it your evidence file. And most people refuse to do that. Why? Because it would change everything. So here's what most people try to manage. Listen carefully. Most people try to manage calendars. Do you have a calendar? Ask me for my calendar. I don't really have a calendar. Most people try to manage it by their habits. There's a whole industry on the 5 a.m. club. Why? Why is there a whole industry on the 5 a.m. club? Somebody want to tell me? Well, if you get up at 5 o'clock, you can do this. So what you're trying to do is change your habits. You think you have to change your habit, but listen, here's what happens. If I took you and put you in prison, your habits would change. You try to do your same habits, it wouldn't work in prison. It wouldn't. You get up when they say get up, not when you want to get up. You do what they say do, and we call that prison. Do you know why most people won't achieve their goals? Is because they've identified that doing the things necessary to achieve their goals is literally a prison. We talk about it all the time. We're in a prison already. We call it a comfort zone. They make it a nice name. Could you imagine? Listen, he got 5 years in his comfort zone. 5 years in a maximum security comfort zone. Doesn't sound so bad. He's sentenced to comfort zone. Doesn't sound so bad, sentenced to death. Some of us are sentenced to death by our comfort zone. Because we want to manage, well, I need a better calendar. I need a better system. I need a better this. I need a better that. Or we try to manage it by tasks. Yet they ignore state. Tell me what your self-talk was yesterday. What were the things you were using to reprogram your brain yesterday? Show me the script you were using to reprogram your brain yesterday. How many times did you bring your attention to a level of awareness 100 times yesterday? I'm giving you all the secrets. People pay me lots of money to remind them of these secrets, to help them rewire their brain. See, you got all of the systems. All of this is everywhere on YouTube and Instagram and Reddit and everything else. They ignore identity. So entropy creeps in. A way to dissolve, a way to destroy, a way to disintegrate every bit of feeling you had when you wrote your goal. Discipline is the ability to do something long after the emotion of making the decision has left your body. Signal loss usually shows up as, when you've lost your signal, as mental noise. How many of us kind of get a little edgy, emotional reactivity? We get a little edgy, emotional reactivity, compulsive distraction. How many of you know somebody? Not you. How many of you know somebody that you've heard them the next day say, oh, I was up wait. Drop an L in the chat if they said, man, I was up so late scrolling. If you know somebody that's done that, drop an L in the chat. Might be you. I doubt it's you, but could be you. There's decision fatigue. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Here's the good news. The responses I'm getting in the chat are the exact same responses I got on a room with 1,000 people, people you've never met. You're not alone in this thing. How about this one? When your signal is lost, you have productivity without progress. You didn't lose discipline, you drifted out of signal. Some of us are busy. We're not moving the ball forward. That's not loss of discipline, that's loss of signal. Well, what's signal? It's what Wallace D. Wattles says. It's not about doing certain things, it's about doing things in a certain way. So, how to reset? Would you like a 3-step process to reset a reset protocol? Here it is. State before strategy. Ask one question. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you the gold mine. I'm going to give you the 6-figure income. I'm going to give you the 7-figure income secret. You're going to write it down. There's a chance your frequency, your signal, your old story won't let you use it after today. Here's the one question to ask. What state am I in right now? Let me ask you this. What state are you in right now? What state are you in right now, in this moment? Do you know? Here's what we're going to do. Write down these 3 words. Energy. I'm going to ask you to rate yourself. Energy, stress, clarity. Write them down. Energy, stress, clarity. So now, rate yourself right now. I don't care if you're watching this recording. I don't care if you did this on Monday morning on the 22nd when this was live. I don't care if you're watching this a year from now. Rate your energy 0 to 5. 5 is absolutely off the charts, over the top. 0 is, I got nothing. Rate your energy. Rate it really. Don't rate it where you want it to be. Don't rate it so that if somebody read it, they're like, wow, they're full of energy and they're lying their butt off. Where's your energy right now? 0 to 5. Where's your stress level right now? Here we are on the 22nd of the month. How's the end of the month looking for you? Where's your stress level at? Christmas is coming. Did you get all the presents you want? Do you have all the bills paid that are coming from Christmas? Do you have the money to go travel where you said you were going to go travel? Where's your stress level? 0 to 5. And then where's your clarity? What are you doing? Do you have a plan in place? Do you have a plan in place? 5 is five is your no stress at all. Remember, 5 is the no problem at all, and 0 is where you got the biggest problems. And then clarity. Where's your clarity? 0, I got no clarity. 5, I'm perfectly clear. So never plan from an unacknowledged state. Never plan from an unacknowledged state. You set goals, you come to events, you go to events, you show up at events, you do events. What state are you in? Most people are never aware of the state they're in. Right? So here's a 2-minute reset. 2-minute reset. Slow inhale 6 times. Right? Inhale slow. Hold it for 3. Right? You do that 6 times. So write that down. This is your reset. This is how you reset your brain. Name the emotion. When you're getting ready to go do something, name the emotion you're currently in, not the one you want, the one you're in. 3 words. That's all you can use. How do you feel? Well, I feel kind of no, 3 words maximum. 1 word would be best. So do your inhales, 6 cycles. So 6 cycles of breathing. Name your emotion, 3 words max. This is a 2-minute reset. And then the last part is decide, do I need to shift my energy up, or do I need to downshift my energy into the particular task you're preparing for, right? Sometimes we can't do things always at the highest level of energy. We've got to get focused. We've got to do some things that require our tasks, that require us to be at a certain level. Just decide whether you need to upshift or downshift your energy. This isn't woo-woo. It's an exercise in executive function hygiene. We wash our hands, we wash our face, we wash our body. Do you ever wash your brain's signal of awareness? This is a washing of the brain. This is executive function hygiene. Right? So 6 cycles of breathing, name the emotion, decide upshift or downshift. Right? So here's an identity line. Here's the identity line. 1 sentence. What was the previous 1 sentence that we said? What state am I in right now? Right? If somebody could send Christina the link for Zoom, for this Zoom, for some reason she can't seem to find it. If you could send that to her, that would be great. To Christina Zaharia. She was the host on the event we did this weekend for 1,000 people. It was outstanding. So Christina, somebody should be sending it to you. So here's the 1 sentence. So here's the 1 sentence for identity. Ready? You can write it down. I am the kind of person who, fill in the blank, even when, fill in the blank. I'm the kind of person who tells the truth to myself, even when it's uncomfortable. That's an example. I'm the kind of person who starts before feeling ready. These sentences preload, they amp up, they give you a boost. This preload the self-schema, right? The schema, the system that governs action. They upload the system that governs your action. These aren't affirmations, these aren't hype, just identity clarity. Does that make sense? So what are the 2 questions again? The 2 questions are, what state am I in right now? And the second question for identity is, I am the kind of person who, fill in the blank, even when, fill in the blank. Right? These aren't affirmations. They're not hype. It's just identity clarity. So here's the 3rd one. Here's a step 3. Replace this question, what should I work on, Replace that question, what should I work on? How many of us have ever asked that? How many of us know people who say, oh man, what do I need to work on right now? What should I work on? To this, you ready? Here, this is huge. This is signals changing. This is changing your identity. Change what should I work on to what will exist after the next 20 minutes. Oh, snap. What will exist after the next 20 minutes? That's a big one, right? Instead of what should I work on, what will exist after the next 20 minutes? Next 30 minutes. 20 minutes is just an arbitrary thing. The reason 20 minutes is powerful is because after 20 minutes, the brain and the butt start to have a disagreement, right? If you're sitting for more than 20 minutes doing something, which is why some of the super Saturdays, people get all excited, but they forget everything because their butt disengaged them a long time ago. Anyways, that's a whole nother psychological story. So here's some deliverables. Here's some things to work on. Here's some things for you to do, things for you to do. What's your, if you were to draft this new understanding of working from your signal, and you were to write out a, I don't know, a 250 word, a 300 word little paper on it, what would change? If you wrote out, say the title of it was Aligning My Signal by Sean Murphy, by fill in your name, what would it mean to align your signal? What would it mean if you recorded that? If you read that into a video and recorded it? First one's going to be ugly. First one's always the worst one. So, a signal is restored through movement, not contemplation, right? Remember the triangle? Bottom of the triangle, physiology. One side focus, the other side of the triangle, language and meaning. First thing is physiology. Signal is restored through movement. Pulling out your journal, reading your evidence file, that's movement. Moving your mind out of the stagnant place that it's in. Most people lose signal inside this task, not before it. Most people lose signal inside of this task, not before it. It's when they start to have their self-talk overwhelm them, when they don't have a replacement for the self-talk that's already lined up, that's already queued up, that's already programmed in you, that's already a response to a particular emotion you're feeling. When you begin to feel uncomfortable, you say, I'll do it later. When you begin to feel uncomfortable, you say, well, I can't do it. When you begin to feel uncomfortable, you say, fill in the blank. You got 1,000 examples. Start ugly. Stay present. When doubt appears, I think doubt will probably appear. This is what it feels like to build. When doubt appears, this is when you're laying your new foundation. When you get disrupted, recover. So here's the start. Here's the start cue. If it gets ugly, stay present. When things look like they're going sideways, that's your old story wanting to wreck things so it can get back to the old story. Where do you go? Where do you go when things get ugly? You go back to your comfort zone. You don't step into your dream zone. You don't step into your freedom zone. So you start ugly, you stay present. What's the sustaining goal? What's the sustaining goal? What's going on over here? The sustaining goal is this idea of you staying focused. This is what it feels like to build, right? This is what it feels like to build. And then the recovery cue, when you get disrupted, reset, pay attention, wild attention to the next 10 minutes. Reset and start moving forward. Self-talk must be behavior linked. Mood follows motion. Mood follows motion, not the other way around. Mood follows motion. Most people, again, I got to get happy. 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 You start moving your hands. Do your Assitude by Joseph McClendon III. Shake your hips. Shake your hips in here. I did it with 1,000 people, and all of the people I could see on camera. As soon as I said, do me a favor, shake your hips in your chair. Just start shaking your hips like you were getting ready to dance. And everybody instantly, you watched all of the screens. People who weren't even paying attention started to smile. Mood follows motion, not the other way around. So here's a cognitive reframe loop. Fix the story, not the feeling. For any moment that there's friction, run this loop. Here's the loop. You ready for the loop? Here's the loop. What just happened? What just happened? What did I tell myself? What's a truer, more useful interpretation? Oh, I failed. What's a more useful interpretation? Well, that didn't work. What 2-minute action proves the new story? What could you do when you understand what just happened? What did I tell myself? What's a truer, more useful interpretation? And then what 2-minute action proves the new story? In any moment, you can ask that. You know what'll happen? You got it on paper. You'll remember it. And your old self, the identity that showed up to the call, your old identity showed up to this call. It let you show up to this call. It let you listen to this recording this far. Your old identity has let you listen this far. It is building evidence of why none of this will ever work for you. That's all your old story's doing right now. Think about that. What do we say sometimes? If you give them enough rope, they'll, right? Your old story is giving you enough rope to hear this new information, to hear this content year after year after year, and simply avoid doing the work. You update beliefs through evidence, not optimism. That's why you have your evidence file. So, told you there's a lot in here. We're going tactical. We're going nuclear on fear and doubt. So some of you know we have, I've created the Ness signal archetypes. So you get to start copying signals of other people to use them, because you're all of these signals. You have a primary, most evident one that you operate from, and your signals can change based upon your situation. So the Guardian, the signal returns through rhythm and reliability. If you're a Guardian signal, all right, and if you haven't figured out which signal you are, go to SeanGMurphy.com/Ness. And that should get you to a little page that shows you the 4 archetypes. You click on the one that's most you, and there's a little 7. I don't collect emails at this, so you can go do it without any evidence that you've been there. So the Guardian, right, the protector, their signal returns through rhythm and reliability. The Catalyst, the one who's a little excited, the one who gets things going, their signal returns through motion and commitment. Right? The Visionary, right, the one who sees things, can see things others can't see, their signal returns through meaning and direction. And the Alchemist, the one who kind of thinks things up out of the blue, thinks things up out of the box, their signal returns through refinement and leverage. You're one of those. And the reason that it might be a little bit of a challenge for you to hit your target is because you're not returning to your signal, right? If the strategy doesn't match your signal, it creates resistance. How many of you have ever been on a planning committee and the person in charge of the planning committee wanted to do committee? The person in charge of the planning committee wanted to do things a way that you knew wasn't a good way. And you're like, yeah, but that, and they're like, no, we're doing it my way. I'm in charge. We're doing it my way. And it kind of went sideways. You know what I'm talking about? Same thing happens to us. There is a frequency. There is a way for you to re-engage and produce the best signal possible in you. And when you don't, you create resistance. So you don't need a new habit. What you do need is a faster way to get back into your signal. So don't fix your whole life today with trying to figure this out. Restore your signal once per day. Check in. Restore your signal in the beginning once per day. Just become aware. Signal compounds faster than discipline ever will. That should make you as excited as bejeebies. Signal compounds faster than discipline. If you think you're a strategy, I got to get better. I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. If you are out of signal, you'll be doing activities that never move the ball forward. Period. End of story. Signal compounds faster than discipline ever will. So if you want to identify your primary signal and stop fighting your own wiring, that's what the Nest system does. That's what the Nest system does. It allows you to operate from your best, highest, most valuable frequency. Signal isn't motivation, it's alignment. Signal isn't motivation, it's alignment. Oh, and by the way, and alignment is trainable. Your signal already exists. I got to find my signal. Your signal already exists. I don't know what my signal is. Your signal already exists. What doesn't exist is the process to get rid of all of the interference, to get into alignment. That's trainable. So there you go. There is your frequency tactical guide to get back in alignment. Oh my gosh, you covered so much stuff. Really? There was a lot of dialogue for 35 minutes. I don't know that I covered a lot of stuff. If I covered a lot of stuff, that's your old story saying, oh, I got to change a lot. Think about it. What's the feeling? Let's go back to the questions, right? What state am I in right now? What state am I in right now? What question do you need to ask yourself? I'm the kind of person who activates, takes action, even when I'm confused. Right now, your confused state is saying, don't take action. Don't take action. If you take action, we'll lose our identity. So there you go. Questions, comments, thoughts. We got about 10 minutes. Questions, comments, thoughts for the next 10 minutes. How can I be of best service? Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Selka.
How are you this morning?
Outstanding.
Okay, how can I fix my signal?
Yep.
The fastest.
Why would you want to fix your signal?
Well, it seems to be out of alignment, certainly.
Awesome. If you got it in alignment, what would you be able to do more of?
To reach out to more people.
And if you reached out to more people, what would be the benefit? Because you could reach out to more people and there'd be no action. What would be the desired action? If getting into action, reaching out to more people, what would be the result you'd want?
Having more business partners or customers.
And if you had more business partners and customers, what would be the benefit for you?
I would earn more money.
What would be the benefit for them?
For them, they would earn money and save on their travels.
And if they earned money and saved on their travels, what might they say to you?
That they are happy,
What else might they say to you?
that they are super excited to be able to travel and go to their dream vacations in 2026.
Excellent. And what would they say to you if they went to one of their dream vacations? If you were
They
able to guide them and help them to get to a dream vacation they never thought possible, what might they say to you?
they would thank me from the bottom of their heart because they finally were able to experience something they thought they would never be able to do, and it brings so much joy in their life that they didn't have before.
So listen to that last statement you said, and would that be valuable for you to hear?
Yes, it
Then
would.
then that's what you need to focus. That's how you would change your statement. That's how you would change your signal, is to do interactions that stay focused on receiving thanks, getting people into a state that is so powerful that the only thing they could do is they'll say, I don't even, thanks isn't enough. That's why you would want to change your signal fast.
Oh, that is very interesting.
See, what we did is the first thing is want more people in my business, want more business partners and customers. That's not exciting. It's exciting, not exciting enough. Where the shift was, we went through 3 questions before we got to the word, they thanked me. Your signal is avoiding being thanked. We went 8 levels deep to get to thank you. So how do you change your signal fast enough? Do things that people thank you for. Be able to create the vision that when somebody enrolls, you're having a dialogue about them going on a vacation that they're going to love. You're not going to say, and you're going to thank me. That's just that's the frequency you're in. Now, sometimes I will say that, hey, listen, if you went through all of the effort of joining me in business and received your results faster than you ever thought possible, what might you say to me? Would you be mad at me if I helped you receive your results faster than you ever thought possible? Well, no. What might you say? Thank you. So when we're doing the tough stuff, when I'm asking you to follow through with your conversations, when I'm asking you to reach out to new people, you might not want to thank me then. You'll thank me later. Can we go into business together that our ultimate goal, me for you and you for you, is for you to get to a place to where you experience something you've never experienced before. And because of our relationship, you wind up pointing your thanks towards me. I'm okay if you point your frustration towards me on the way too. I just want you to know my ultimate goal is to get you to a place where you say, words aren't enough. Is it okay if we work towards that place? Clarify, qualify, create expectation. Your signal to get into alignment is to do things so much, so well, to work so hard, so intensely for people that you get them to a point to where the only thing they have to say to you is, I don't know what else to say other than thank you. Thank you isn't enough. That was 8 levels away. It was 8 questions away. And you've been through this, meaning most people would have resisted. Well, what do you want? Why do you keep asking me questions? How do I change my signal? You went through the process.
Yes, because I trust that you get me where I need to go.
So now the question is that what state am I in? Am I in a state of producing gratitude in others? That's a big one.
That's a huge bonus.
Isn't that a huge that's a huge bonus.
Am I in the state? I have to repeat that. Am I in the state to produce a thank you from others?
Thank you or gratitude in others.
Gratitude from wow. That is huge.
So that's now your signal's fixed.
Thank you.
Now the question is, will you revert back to that? Because this is a new memory. Your body's in a new frequency. Your body's in a new vibration. Your voice changed, Silka. Drop a V in the chat if you heard the tone in her voice change. This is important. When you read that statement, your voice, as clean and clear and direct as it is, became softer. Nothing changed in the volume, nothing changed in the tone. Something about it became softer.
Yeah.
You didn't lose any intensity, right? Because normally that's you need to talk softer. Your volume didn't adjust, didn't need to adjust. It doesn't need to adjust when you're telling somebody you love them. It needs to adjust when you're yelling at somebody. Right? When you're telling them, do this, right? Molly ran across the street yesterday, across the road. She went across to the neighbor's house. This is the third time I've caught her. Now, this time, the last time I caught her, she got her butt spanked. This time I caught her, she was across the street in the yard. She hadn't gone behind their house because her and Dubby's the hoodlum, taking her off on these missions. And I yelled, and I was up towards the north end of the property, and I yelled, Molly. And she stopped, and she looked to where she like, does they see me? And she saw me looking at her, and I took 2 steps. Now I was 100 yards away, and I took 2 steps to her, and she ran to the house because I have never had a breed of dog like this. They are geniuses compared to every other dog I've had. I've had Labradors. She knew. Anyways, long story short, she could tell from my signal, right? From the tone in my voice. Because I'll yell at her going, Molly, and her tail's wagging. This, she got the signal. What I mean by that is if we are understanding the signal and the tone that we're in, it's received by our audience. You know, do you remember when a friend of yours, any of us, when somebody that you were with, your cousin, your brother, your sister, they were getting yelled at and you got so scared because they got yelled at, you went home too? That was Debbie. I yelled at Molly and Debbie's like, oh, no, he hadn't said my name yet, but I'm going home before he says it. So what you just changed, your tone changed, your vibration, your signal changed when you said, I operate from a place that allows gratitude to be received from others, right? Whatever that was I don't even remember what we said, but that's the idea that you operate. Is my state allowing gratitude to flow from others? It changed, your whole voice changed.
Wow.
So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you.
Welcome. Love you too. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with you. How can I be of best service? Sean, what is the schedule for this week? Tomorrow morning, yes. And then Saturday, Christmas will be off and back. No, tomorrow we're on. Christmas Eve we're on. And then Thursday we're off. Friday we're on. AJ, good morning, AJ.
Hey, good morning. First of all, how are you? How's it going? How's life treating you?
You know, I don't know. Outstanding.
I know you don't know, but if you knew.
If you knew, if I did know, it'd be outstanding. But I don't know. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
this guy told me that one time. Okay, just quickly, thank you for today. This was some interesting information that we heard probably a couple times already, but kind of needs to sink in. We're almost there, Mom. 3 more years. I'm kidding.
Well, almost got the white passport.
Almost there, buddy. Okay, because of the holidays, I'm working on some stuff I told you about, the magic book and all that stuff.
Yep.
So just quickly, because of the holidays and everything,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be reaching out maybe tomorrow.
Yep.
Just to figure out. I know you don't have a calendar, but just figure out when you're going to be with family and so on.
Yep.
So we can discuss some interesting stuff.
Cool.
All right. Ready?
So here's my question for you. Here's my teaser for you. Now, and it's not a teaser for you, it's a teaser for everybody else. And what I mean, I'm using it as a sales, it's literally a sales pitch that I'm giving everybody else through you. Just being what do they call that? Authentic. So the interesting things you're having now a year later, are these interesting things you thought you'd have a year later? Would this be the level? Would
No,
this be the
no,
level of
I wouldn't say.
interesting?
I wouldn't say that. No.
That's all. Most people are like, I don't really see a whole lot. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, yeah, he's got 3 new businesses and he's done some stuff, but he was rich before. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yes, we will chat.
Yeah, we just had a conversation. I mean, I just had a conversation with Mitch yesterday because they had the gig on Saturday.
So,
So yesterday, after probably 2 or 3 weeks, we haven't kind of sat down together
yeah.
properly, right?
Right.
So we had lunch yesterday, and we talked about some stuff, and I told him, some stuff that's going on, and so on and so forth. I got some international offers again to move abroad, and so on and so forth, and some other things as well. And he said, "Man, the guy upstairs surely does love you, man. This guy is off the rails out there." I said, "Listen, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm his favorite, but definitely amongst the top five, probably."
I've made it to his speed dial list.
I made
All of
this.
us are in his phone, but I'm on his speed dial.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, "Hold on, man. You gotta chill out there for a second." He's like, "No, no, let's keep on rolling."
Either put your foot on the gas or on your neck. Either way,
Yeah, I made it to a speed dial, so
it's hammer
it's
down.
good stuff.
I
Yeah,
love it.
he's like, "Yeah, I just can't believe how much he loves you and how just stuff keeps happening for you." And I said, "Listen, this guy upstairs, he has a thing for me. I think we're gonna figure that out."
Yep.
That's good stuff. Thank you, thank you,
Well,
thank you.
and if you listen to man, I don't know how I don't know how he loves you so much. The man upstairs, how is human? We step into our best version of us. God doesn't love us anymore. We just see all the love He's had for us. Do 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 do. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, this is not exactly what Mitch said. There was some PG-18 language in there, but this is the PG-13 version of that.
Right.
Said, "Man, you are so lucky, and he loves you so much. And how is this happening for you?" And I said, "Well, you know what? I know this one thing. It increases signal and so on and so forth. So I started giving money away more than before.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, for example, if I'm at a coffee shop or whatever, and the bill is like $10, like 1,000 dinars, I'd give them like 500. I give them like 50% of the bill. And then I had some guys come to me from a different, like outside of town, because my stove got broken, so I had to buy a new one. I gave them, so the stove was $300. I gave them $20 each as a tip for bringing it on a Saturday,
All right.
and then I asked them to bring out my old one, which was broken. So usually they don't do that, but if
All
you
right.
you know if you put some grease in there, they're gonna do it. So I said, you know what? Okay, so let me give you guys $20 each, so 2,000 dinar. And I said, all right. And then there was this guy that's a friend of my godfather who's an electrician. Because apparently in Serbia, what they do, they sell you these things, stoves and ACs and fridges and whatever,
Yep.
without the cable work.
Oh, they do that in the U.S. too.
Really?
Yep.
Jesus. All right. I
Yeah,
thought we
because
were
then
the
you got
third
to go.
world country.
Yep.
Yeah, because then you got to go to the hardware store, you got to buy the cable, you got to call an electrician to fix it up, and so on. It's an extra expense or whatever. And then these guys told me, because they put a little grease in there. They told me, well, listen, we're gonna take care of this old stove, and you don't have to throw away the cable because the cable is good.
We'll
The
just take it
stove
off.
was exactly. So they helped me to take it off. They didn't knew how to actually get the new one in, but they knew how to unwire the old one. And I said, okay. So they did that, and then I called up a neighbor of my godfather's, because we usually see each other on Saints Day once a year.
Yep.
And I kind of know him, he kind of knows me. Anyway, it was a Saturday, and I said, listen, I know it's the rush. Everybody's rushing somewhere. It's the 28th something of December. It's everybody's everybody's busy with everything. And I said, if you can today, Monday, Tuesday, whenever, I'll be at home. I'll be waiting for you. He's like, no, let's do it today. I was like, okay. I pick him up. We go home. He fixes it in like 20 minutes, takes care of it. And he's like, for this type of work, we usually charge like $10, $20, whatever. And I said, okay, so here we go, 30. And he's like, why? And I said, well, it's a bonus for a quick, how should I call that?
Response.
Yeah, for quick response. Yeah. And
For
then
putting
and I
me
said
on
that's just
speed dial.
yeah, and that's just a bonus for a quick response. So thank you. And he's like, okay, thank you. And then it's funny how you give it out without, again, as Wall says, without having the transaction in mind before giving it out,
Yep.
without
Advance
making it
plan.
transactional. Yeah. So just give it out for the sake of giving it out. And all of a sudden, $500 show up from the restaurant that I wasn't expecting till probably after New Year's. So they gave the money back. The partner of mine for the cleaning business said that we're going to have work to do in January still, despite the fact we probably shouldn't have done that. There's this guy calling me from Cyprus. He wants me to move there, get me some offer or whatever. On Friday, I didn't show up to work, the work I'm doing with my friend in the afternoon. I didn't show up to work probably till about 7 or 8 p.m. because we had our Saints Day. I come in, client sends an email, $10,000 sent. Boom, made $1,500 off of that. I'm like, oh, okay, it's interesting. So yeah, client. If you do it right in sales, clients close deals for you, not the other way around. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff, really. And
And it's important for you to share this. It might feel like a little bragging, but it's not, because it's results. And the challenge is when you have results that other people want, they can become jealous. What I would encourage you, what I would implore everyone listening is to say, instead of how lucky, it's to know how the system works. One of the things Wallace D. Waddell says in the beginning of the book, Science of Getting Rich, is that this is not a treatise, a book of entertainment. This is a book on actual law. And you should read it as such, because if one person follows this, the law works. And you should read this book until you get it to work. There is no questions. There is no doubt. Because your old story is showing up and going, oh, good. Oh, I know what's going to happen here, because your old story is nexting AJ's story. And he's going to, well, every time AJ opens his mouth, he's going to tell us about something great, or how Sean beat him up and then it turned into great. And then he's going to talk about how he failed and then how it turned great. I just get the failures. I just get the beating up. I can promise you, the signal he stays in, the signal he has fought, the hardest work AJ has done is to fill out a journal. He's 28. I don't know. How old are you?
24, for the love of God, man. You're
24 years old. He filled out his first journal. 198 entries or something like that. And look what happens. But it's AJ. He's sharp. He's young. He does crypto. He does that. No, he didn't do any of that until he found his signal and it showed up. People are calling him. Napoleon Hill says, you'll wonder where it was during all the lean times. I don't know how else other than, and I'll get better. I'm knocking the rust off. I've only been doing this for 4 decades. I'll get better. I promise I'll get better. My goal is to get better every day, is to say it in such a way that you say, I'm okay with doing it. Oh, I'm okay with doing it. This frequency, this system that you're in, you have to decide the frequency of, is it a working system, a production system, or a failure system? AJ, and here's the thing, AJ's system will only work for AJ. That's why, well, AJ, how are you doing it? People, another 24-year-old, another 24-year-old, born in his city, born in the hospital at the same time he was, 24 years, they're seconds apart in birth, could come up to AJ and say, hey, you're 24, I'm 24, we do the same things, we both played, we have all of this history that's the past. Tell me, how are you doing it? And AJ will say how he is doing it. and AJ is giving his human. And the other human is trying to take AJ's human, and that's not right. I can't take Christina's human. I can't take Roz's human. I can't do Rudge. As cool as a stud as he is, I can't be cool like Rudge. I can't have that deep voice like he has. Hey, good morning. I can't. I can try. If I try to do Rudge, what happens when you try to mimic somebody else? They laugh at you. It's funny. Why wouldn't it be funny when you try to do somebody else's how? You just get frustrated. AJ can't do my how. I give him examples of my how so he can say, oh, okay, so that's what you went through. So I might need to look for something like that. I need to figure out that in my world.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, isn't it?
Listen, don't think it's coming on easy. I mean, I've had challenges for ages. I mean,
But you make it
struggling
sound
to.
so much fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, I had challenges with drug abuse and so on and so forth. So I had to leave that off on the side, probably. A lot of challenges as time goes along. Because this is gonna sound corny, but I don't care. When you start earning a lot of money young, that money can literally eat you up. And I mean, I know you know this, Sean, because you made a lot of money when you were young as well. If you don't have either someone to guide you, like I had you, or if you're not, mentally strong or whatever, you're gonna get eaten up by the money and by the high life and by everything. So if you really don't have an anchor of whatever sort, whether that's a person or a ritual or whatever you're doing, it's really gonna, screw you up, honestly. So
It'll give you
if
a
you
good
don't do,
lesson.
yeah, oh yeah, if you don't do that, because I know a lot of people in my industry that were young as I was, made similar amounts of money. Some of them maybe even made more. Some of them maybe made a couple times more money than I did, like twofold, threefold, fivefold, and they just got eaten up. I mean, right now they're still broke. They have issues with drug abuse and alcohol abuse, and so on and so forth. So don't. And by the way, it's not that I'm this sharp and crazy and good and whatever all the time. I mean, probably out of the 7 days in a week, like 5 days in a week, I wake up with, oh my God, I still slept in. I did this and I did that. I feel like shiitake and whatever, and so it's a daily process. It's a daily thing, So it's not like you wake up and you're on the go. Not exactly like that every day. So I just want to give courage to people, so
I
they
love
know
it.
it's not all perfect every day. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll
I
reach out
love
to
it.
you.
So, hey, real quick before before we go, how many of you would like to see the slides I gave to the 1,000-person audience?
I
Right?
do.
I've done this 1,000 times. I've spoke to thousands of people. This was a 1,000-person audience, and it blew them away. You can ask Christina. They were blown away. Here's the slides. Let me do my share screen. Oh, wait. This is what I did. I wrote it down on sheets of paper. Do y'all know what P is, right? Potential, right?
Next slide, please.
Next slide, please. There you go. Action. Next slide, please. Next slide. Where's the person running this show? Right? This is what I did in front of 1,000 people. Right? And it gets us to the belief, right? Potential, action, results, belief. The reason I show you that and the reason I said it online in front of 1,000 people is so that nobody felt they couldn't do it. Some of us are getting so sophisticated in what we are capable of doing, we don't do the thing we should do. We don't let people know that would work. And I can promise you, the people who saw that, the people when they had conversations, the leaders, the moderators, the owners of that community were probably in the beginning a little disappointed, like that those are his slides, until it sunk in. And the story we told is that everyone could go do this. So I say that to say, I just did that with the grace of Christina inviting me into her community. 1,000 people, I got to show that. Why would I do that? Because you could do it too. That's all. I would share that with you. So, Anyone else? Where did I find 1,000 people? That was easy. I just sat in my office. So there you go. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? Or Christina, if you want to add anything from what you experienced, that was one of your biggest events.
It was one of my biggest events, and Paul was like, "What's the big deal? You had 800 people before, so now 1,000. Why does it even matter? Like, did you see all these people?" I said, "No, but I saw the number." So he doesn't get it what seeing that 1,000 plus means, but it meant a lot for me, and it's just so extra special when you come on, Sean. It's just a full circle, and this is how I met you, being the MC, and this is what I got to do. And so to be the MC and introduce you, it was just special for me. And after the event, of course, that we had people asking, but because we are not promoting anything, they need to be resourceful. And I find that, we at least my accountability team has 70 people and they're waiting to be spoon fed. And I don't know if this is across the board, but this is our way to say it's on you. If you really, 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 really want it, you're gonna find Sean.
Yeah,
Right?
you know my name. And that's
Yeah,
the
the
thing.
full
And
name.
the reason I think and I'm sure they've had other people back multiple times. This is the third time I've been back to this community, is because I never mentioned the ethical conversation is they got to introduce me, say my name, but that's it. There was no promotion. There was no who could I get to sign up for coaching? None of that. And like Christina says, is they got to be resourceful. And there was 1,000 people who heard my name, put all of the likes. You know how I get people interacted. I have not had one message from any of them. None of them have figured out how to get a hold of me. So that's this that's this little idea of now. So 600 the first time, 800 the second time, that's 1,400, 1,000 here. That's 2,400 people I've spoken to in this community over the course of the last 5 months. 2,400 people, not one has figured out how to find me. They all say it. And the reason I say this to you, this inner circle, we're having this conversation, is because you will do the most amazing presentation. You will have the most amazing conversation. We've got to be able to hold their feet to the fire. Clarify, qualify, create expectation. I qualified. On this call, I'm not allowed to create the expectation of working with me. It's the expectation of working with their teams and their communities. So there you go.
And I have to say, Sean, you say that you don't know how many people were invited on. So I joined this program in January. And so I just was an observer for the first 3 months. And then when I started being on the host and co-host team, within this year that I've been on, you are the only one, not even internal people came back 3 times as you did. So the highest leaders in the community that were invited back, there was nobody who came on more than twice. So now, because in every cohort they say, let's bring Sean back. I really wanted Sean back, right? But yeah, you're the only one who was on for 3 times.
That's an honor. What an honor that is. Thank you. And listen, people say, well, how did you find that? My how is human and my human is Christina. Christina found that. The way I got to China was somebody else. I didn't promote myself. Somebody else promoted me to China. The way I spoke in Lima, Peru was Lena. And it's who this is literally, it's who you know. So my net worth is impacted by my network. The people I love and the people I care for. So thank you, Christina. Thank you for letting me live my dream and helping with my legacy, right?
Thank you.
I love it. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous on this Tuesday morning. Days are getting longer by however long they get longer. All right, my misfits. I love you tons. Have an amazing Monday morning and follow your sequence. Stay in your joy and ask yourself, what state am I in? I'm a person that when blank, I do this. Right? Who are you when you get frustrated? I plug through. I keep moving. I ask a better question. What state are you in? Use those tools to help you have more of what you want, less of what you don't. I'll see y'all where?
The next event.
At the next event. There's that Rudge DJ midnight voice. Somebody give me some Costa Rica.
Pura
Pura
vida.
vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace
Peace be with us all.
Be with us all. And the queen of helping you do more, have more, be more, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Bossy.
Lee.
We love you, girl. And a little white fluffy.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly.
Gurgly. We love you, Fee. All right, everybody, go have some fun today. I love you. Thank you for letting me do what I love to do. See y'all tomorrow.